Hello everyone, Turtleags here bringing you another AFK journey video. So today I'm going to talk about whether I think you should summon for Natsu or Lucy. So the structure of this video will be as follows. First, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat whether any of these heroes are worth summoning for. Second, I'm going to go over the different game modes that I think they excel at and why. I'll kind of summarize what they do exactly, and then I'll wrap up with any final thoughts. So the good thing about this collaboration event is that thanks to this board game, which is actually kind of fun, doesn't take too much time, but I think is a very good nod to the anime itself, is this very Sonata. So you can go on an adventure, it's pretty funny, on this board, and it's like clearing AFK stages, and then you get these buffs for your teams along the way, and then eventually the main thing here is that you get to exchange the currency that you acquire for up to, I think, 43 copies of Lucy and 30 I think it's like 30 summons, dimensional summons. So you can kind of think of it like these chests right here. If you were to convert them all to Lucy's, you would get a Mythic Plus to Supreme Lucy, and then with this here you could get one Natsu essentially. And I guess this would be a good segue to what I think about these heroes. I think these heroes are really good for free-to-plays like this event in particular, because a free-to-play who has been playing for only 1 month in this game, so a fairly new player, a Mythic Plus Lucy actually would be quite impactful. She's kind of like a hybrid of both Cecia as well as Ulsa. And the reason for that is because in her kit, Lucy has 3 different ways to stun the enemies in the form of her ultimate as well as skill 1 and skill 2. Each one of these 3 skills actually stun the enemy anywhere between 2 to 2.5 seconds, as you can see here. 3 ways to stun. And all of these occur before you even get her Mythic Plus. And the thing is, for just about all of us, even the whales, unless we plan to Paragon these, it's just better to slowly get copies of Lucy from completing the entire event. And this event will be 28 days long, and we have 28 days to summon for both Natsu and Lucy. So for this reason, there's no need to rush. I do like that for Lucy, the best parts of her kit are actually before Mythic Plus, because her Supreme Plus ability is not super impactful. It just increases Aquarius's attack speed. And then for the EX weapon, this is where you get additional utility in that she shields the weakest ally, which is pretty nice. Okay, so for pull or pass, I would say that Lucy, you could probably just keep her at Mythic Plus or Supreme. I don't think she's impactful in Dream Realm at all, because she doesn't have any part of her kit that is, HP percent scaling damage. And then she's not really used in PvP, because in PvP right now we are in an environment where it's very aggressive. And just to give you an example, in Supreme Arena right now, I would say that the hyper carries tend to be, like, if you form 3 different teams, team 1 would be something like either Cryonaya or say like a Natalia, this hero right here. So that is 1 hyper carry, and then the second hyper carry would be in the form of, say, like Siren, and actually an alternative hyper carry would be, say, like Diurnal, Dunleer, and then the third hyper carry would be a combination of Tulane and Tassie. At a very high level, like top 20 in Supreme Arena, and Bonnie as well, these are going to be the hyper carries. There's not really a place for Lucy or even Natsu, who I will talk about in a moment. Yes, and then for standard arena, you can only choose 5 heroes, and unless you plan to Paragon either Natsu or Lucy, which I don't recommend, you're not really going to Paragon or use them at all in standard arena. So in standard arena, every server has their own ecosystem in terms of like what heroes are viable, and that kind of shapes the meta for that particular server. So in my server, the hyper carries right now are either, like, for me, I love Tassie, so I run a Tassie, Talene, Damien core, and then run either Pesto, Lily May. Sometimes I'll run Bonnie. Although my Bonnie, I just got to P3, so I haven't really started incorporating her in my team. But yeah, generally speaking, you're going to run your most paragoned hyper carries in your standard arena. Yeah, and then other people may run like Atalia as their hyper carry or Cryonaya. Like I run Cryonaya on my offense, so this is Cryonaya right here. So if I was to show you my offensive team, I'm just illustrating that there's not really room to, to squeeze in Natsu or Lucy. So like on offense, this is my team. So Cryonaya, Rowan it's just running Cryonaya as hyper carry essentially. And as you can see, the best teams right now, like my guildmate, my co-leader, who is rank 1, runs a spicy Satrana Talene Bonnie comp, and this is like a very attrition oriented comp, very solid. And yeah, so your server might be running like a team like this, or like Siren, or like Atalia, or a mixture of those. Those are the most common archetypes that are being played in Standard Arena as well as Supreme Arena. Yeah, and all of which to say that you're not going to see Natsu or Lucy in Standard Arena or Supreme Arena. I would be very surprised. Okay, and then with Dream Realm, you're not going to see either of these heroes because we already discussed about Lucy. Lucy's all about stunning, and you can't really stun Dream Realm bosses. And then if we go to Natsu, the thing about Natsu is he doesn't have any HP percent scaling parts of his kit. He also, I think there's certain parts of his kit that don't even affect the boss. Basically, in a nutshell, I would say the main reason to even summon for Natsu is for his Lightning Fire Dragon mode. In my opinion, this is the reason you run Natsu, because with this first mode, because you can toggle between Lightning Fire and Fire Dragon, in the same way that you can toggle Dunlear's, Spellbind versus the other mode. But in my opinion, the Lightning Fire Dragon mode is way better because Fire Dragon mode is straight damage. It's just more damage. Whereas with Lightning Fire, it is, stunning them. It's like AoE stun for 3 seconds, which is actually decent. And then I actually really like the skill 1. In Lightning Fire mode, you can reduce the highest damage dealing enemies haste by 80, which is such a high value. And I will show you a replay in which this actually helps me clear a really high AFK stage. Yes, so, and then what else did I like about him? I'm not a big fan of the skill 2. Basically, the skill 2, when an ally dies, Natsu gets an attack and defense boost. Yeah, and then, let's see. Additionally, if the allied Lucy's defeated, Natsu increases his crit damage boost by 5. I actually don't think this value is super. That's really low multiplier. So don't feel pressure to have Lucy in a Natsu team, because this is almost negligible stat boost. Just by having the first time an ally is defeated, he will get at least a 27% attack and defense boost. Yeah, so even if you're in the Lightning dragon mode where, you know, his damage is less than the fire dragon mode, it's okay because this kind of makes up for it. And you can combo Natsu with, say, like a pesto, you know, because if the illusion dies it triggers this, or, you know, a summon. I guess this kind of has synergy with summons because I presume an ally includes your summons. I haven't tested it, but anyways, yeah, so there's that. And then EX weapon, you just stop at 10. And same actually with Lucy as well. You stop at 10. Basically, you know, with his EX weapon, at EX1, it already is pretty good because he reduces the target's max HP by 40% of the actual damage. You know, when I think about this now, I wonder if this helps with Dream Realm. Although he was nowhere to be found in today's Dream Realm, like best in slot teams, so I don't think his potential in Dream Realms are really that high. It needs to be HP percent scaling damage. But he's just reducing the target's max HP here. Yeah, and it's capped at a certain amount. This has some utility, particularly in an AFK stage pushing scenario when you are fighting against the Dead Tides, the enemies that look green from Pirates of the Caribbean, and they heal themselves, right? And they are CC immune. I will have a replay to show you about how that can help. And then the Supreme Plus, yeah, he burns the enemy. Anyways, so his kit is alright, Lucy's kit is alright. Oh, one thing to mention, I do like that Natsu is a magic damage dealer. He is a warrior melee. With regards to Lucy, it's kind of weird because, yeah, she's also magic 3 range, but I think when she turns into Aquarius form, her range increases. If memory serves me right. Yeah, in Aquarius form, Lucy's attack range extends to 10 tiles. I was watching Puzzle's video and he talked about how it's really odd because until she turns into her Aquarius form by casting her ultimate, she will be 3 range, which means she'll run up to the enemy first. So that's kind of odd. She'll be more prone to getting hit in the beginning of the match. But the good news though is that her ultimate, it's like 700 initial energy, and you need 1,000 energy to cast your ult. So if, say, you were to combo Lucy with the twins, you could get her to ult pretty quick. I do like this a lot because I think one of the biggest downsides to Cecia is that Cecia, until you get her ultimate off to cast her summon, she is not really, like, she's kind of dead weight. You know, and Lucy in that regard is just a much better form of Cecia. Lucy has 3 different forms of crowd control. She can get her summon up way faster, and you know, when she turns into Aquarius form, you know, she'll be able to, if I could go back to this kit here, she will be able to, I could have sworn she had a way to shield. Yeah, can cast a water barrier to grant a shield to the weakest ally. So she has some additional defensive utility that Cecia doesn't really provide. Lucy is just a straight up upgrade to Cecia in pretty much every way. Yeah, so yeah, basically in a nutshell, I do think Lucy and Natsu, they're not super important to summon for because they're not using Dream Realm. They have really stiff competition in PvP. Most people will just get them Supreme Plus at most, and that's about it. Now, if you're curious about what I will do personally, as you can see, I got Natsu Supreme Plus. The way I did it was I had 30k diamonds saved, and in addition I did buy his pop-up that gets you 1 copy of Natsu, as well as I want to say it was like 90 summons, dimensional summons. If we look into the store, the trolley, for those of you whales who are watching this, the only thing that I purchased was the 98 dragon crystals, which is nothing. It was basically 1,200% value. I nowadays, because I'm very like particular about what I purchase, unless I have a particular goal, such as, you know, getting Paragon onto my Lorson, you know, I don't really buy anything below 800% value. So as you can see, I skipped all this. Actually, if you do the math, assuming that you purchase 3,000 dragon crystals for, let's say, 100 USD, one of this is a sixth of 100, so you're paying 16 USD for one of this or one of this. In my opinion, that's kind of not worth it. I know it says 650%, but if you really, you know, do the calculation, it's just not worth it, and you don't need to, from what I am observing. So just getting the pop-up for Natsu is enough to get Supreme Plus Natsu, which provides enough leftover currency from the event in order to get the rest of the copies of Lucy that I need to Supreme Plus her. So I would say that this event, you could realistically, if you were free to play, if you just want to have one fully built dimensional hero, you can just pick Lucy, you know, get all these chests, you know, use the summons, and then you'll probably only need about 30k diamonds, or maximum like 45 to 60k diamonds to get her Supreme Plus. Yeah, so that's quite nice. One thing I wish they had done was provided up to 75 temporal essences, because you do need 75 temporal essences to bring a hero from EX5 to EX10. And actually, that's another reason why I think it's not really necessary to like, I think you can skip one or both of these heroes, because there's not enough temporal essences to EX10 both of them, in my opinion. Even if you're a low spender or whale, temporal essences, this is a topic for another video, there's still not enough temporal essences to EX10 every hero. Like, if you look at my roster, I still can't do it, and I buy, you know, a lot of the pop-ups. Well, actually, mainly just the Stargaze bundles. That's about all I do. So as you can see here, there's some heroes who I don't even have EX10. I can't afford it. It's wild. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about their viability in AFK stages. And actually, this is kind of a segue to another. Sorry, I'm just like kind of whatever comes to mind. As you can see here, I'm AFK efficiency 9 days ahead. For those of you guys who are looking to get back into the game, this was a new implementation for this season to basically reduce the burnout that a lot of people experienced in Waves of Intrigue last season. I do have friends who actually quit AFK Journey from the burnout from AFK stage pushing and Waves of Intrigue. So the way they addressed that was, in addition to removing double stages, they also made it so that once you hit a certain AFK stage limit, any additional stages you push do not contribute to more passive income, which basically means there's not really much point to going above max AFK stage efficiency unless you want to just get ahead. And so anyways, for this reason, the heroes that have the major impact for AFK stage pushing are not as high priority as heroes that you would use in Dream Realm and AFK and PvP. Okay, let's go ahead and go over some replays. So I'm going to show you 2 Natsu replays, and I'll show you 1 Lucy replays. And these clears were not on Mickey Mouse stages. As you can see here, like for me, I'm at AFK progress 3032. I'm 9 days ahead of schedule for AFK stage pushing. Yeah, so these are, for this stage in particular, 2050, I was stuck on this stage for 2 days, and I still couldn't clear it yesterday with a standard Heroic comp. What I did here, I was just fooling around, but I cleared first try, was I swapped Sonia with an EX... I swapped an EX20 Sonia Supreme Plus, or Paragon 3, I'm sorry, for a Supreme Plus EX5 Natsu, and I was able to clear. But the way I cleared was really odd. As you can see here, Natsu didn't do much damage. However, this was what I was talking about before, his Lightning Dragon mode. What did I say before? He stuns, and he also, you know, with his EX weapon decreases the max HP, and in Lightning Dragon form he also decreases the highest damage dealer's haste by 80. So we're going to see that here. I'll slow it down. You'll notice my Natsu's running up here. He doesn't survive very long. I think within the 10-second mark he's already dead. But you know, the timing in which he died was actually perfect, because it was right before my Harok feasted. Yeah, so we're about 15 seconds in and he's about to die, and then my Harok feasts. The timing was perfect, because I think that if that didn't happen, my Harok would have feasted on my Natsu and it would have ended the run. And this was a huge problem. You know, against Dead Tide Goons, if your Harok is not eating the enemies every single time, you pretty much have to restart. Because as you can see, I'm hardly doing any damage to these guys because they're so chonky. But because of the combination of Natsu's lightning form kit, right, decreasing the haste, decreasing the max HP of the tanks, the Dead Tide Goons, so that when they replenish their HP, they don't go all the way back up. It does really help out with ensuring that Harok is feasting the enemies, not my allies. Yeah, so I know for a lot of you that's not going to be a big reason to summon for Natsu, but this is like an example of the quality of life that Natsu brings for very specific stages, right? Like, you know, back in Waves of Intrigue, there were certain stages, like the Dead Tide stages, where you needed, the only way to clear it was you needed a Harok, you needed a Niru, you needed a Sinbad, and you needed a Satarana in order to have a chance to clear. And I was able to clear with about 6 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, so this is probably, I think, one of the best examples of Natsu. And this was a team I came up with. This was not suggested by AFK stages. So I'm sure that in a couple of days there will be an even more optimal Harok and Natsu comp for AFK stage pushing. Alright, so now let's dive into another example. So here was an example provided by Atroxy, and this time this is an example, an even higher stage, you know, season talent stage 2362. I think Atroxy is probably like AFK efficiency like 11 or 12 days ahead of schedule, maybe even more. So really high AFK stage. And he runs an Olmus, Aaron, Tassi, twins, and Natsu comp against these spiders here. And the thing about the spiders is that they lay eggs, right? And then you have an annoying Cassidy that can just one-shot you and stun and, you know, just destroy your team. So you need to really lock down all the spiders here. And yeah, so in this particular case, there's a lot of crowd control. Tassi's providing a lot of damage in combination with Aaron's magic defense shred. I'm so glad that Natsu is a magic damage dealer, not a physical. I was really worried he would be physical, but because he happens to be magic, so he does have synergy with Aaron. And as you can see here, I'm actually not sure what form he is in. But if it was me, I would probably go lightning form in order to decrease the haste of the spiders, the highest damage dealing spider, in order to. But he probably went fire dragon because eventually there will be so many spiders summoned that decreasing the haste of just one spider is not going to make much of a difference. But he pretty much has the enemies on lockdown, as you can see. With the Frostfall spell to provide additional damage, and eventually he is able to burst down the enemies with, I think, not much on the clock. But yeah, it's really nice that Natsu is able to decrease the max HP of the enemies with his skill 1, I think, or skill 2. So yes, I think I'm basically demonstrating that yes, Natsu is an AFK stage pushing hero. Yeah, and this is a built Natsu. The first replay I showed you was an EX5 Supreme Plus Natsu. Yeah, so this is going to be close, but this was a stage that I believe Atroxy was stuck on for quite some time. Oh yeah, he barely cleared it. I think this was also a 6-second clear, or 2-second. Oh my god, this was a 1-second clear. Yeah, so very nicely done there. Alright, so now the final replay I want to show you is an AFK stage using Lucy. And this was actually shared by my guildmate, who I think is one of the highest AFK stage pushers in my guild. I think there's only one other guildmate who's higher than him. And he essentially ran a smoky Tulane core with Lucy. And I'm not familiar with these enemies because I'm not high enough in AFK stage pushing. I think Elmer is like 13 or 14 days ahead of schedule. But anyways, he's fighting these jellyfish kind of things that if I was looking at their kit. Okay, so it looks like these jellyfish, they crowd control you. Yeah, and yeah, it's like crowd controlling enemies, really annoying enemies, along with Lily May, and you know how annoying Lily May can be on the enemy side. So, yeah, this is just an EX5 Lucy, to my understanding, Supreme Plus, nothing crazy, and he was, yeah, with Frostfall, able to burn them down. And like I mentioned before, Lucy, she has 3 different forms of crowd control. Stun, and each one of her forms of stun can stun for at least 2 to 2.5 seconds. Yeah, so he's slowly melting the enemies in the front, and you saw the 3 heroes being stunned. It's quite useful with keeping your team alive, and especially important to keep Lily May in check. Okay, so the blue fog comes out, and as you can see, Lucy doesn't really have any energy issues, which is quite nice. This is what I wish Cecia was like. Yeah, so good damage here, and I think this is going to be another nail biter from what I recall. But yeah, really, this is full auto, a very relatively high talent stage. Okay, so finish with a healthy 40 seconds to go. Yeah, so this is a good demonstration. We'll go back to the damage calcs to see how much damage Lucy provided, but Lucy, one of the main reasons you run her is her stunning capabilities. In some ways, it's even better than Ulsa. I want to say that Lucy is kind of like a better version of Cecia and like an excellent alternative to Ulsa. Ulsa still one-ups Lucy in terms of her range. Ulsa has 7 range, but Lucy at this point has 10 range. I'm kind of curious where Lucy's standing right now. There's Aquarius. Oh yeah, there's Lucy. She's actually a fairly healthy distance from the rest of the enemies right now. So, alright, cleared with 4 seconds remaining. Yeah, these AFK stages that I showed you are all fairly challenging. Not many people can clear them. Yeah, and it was with an EX5. He doesn't even have the full set. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry for the rambles and the random tangents. I'll try to have bookmarks along the way so you can jump across the different topics I covered. Please let me know in the comment section below if you plan to fully build for Lucy, fully build Natsu, or both. For me personally, I'm going to get them both, Supreme plus EX5, and EX10 them once I get build a surplus of temporal essences. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.